Hello, it's good to see you. Today we are back to read some more of my story. The title of this story is Holiday. It's very long, and in the last video somebody commented 780 pages, oh no, and I wasn't quite sure how to take that because I did mention it's 780 pages long, and somebody replied with 780 pages, oh no. Now, I don't know if you mean, oh no, I didn't know it was going to be that long. I didn't want to listen to it. If I'd known it was that long, I wouldn't have listened to it. I wouldn't have gotten started. Or if you mean, oh no, you're going to be reading a while, bless your heart. I don't really know what that oh no meant, but I wanted to let you know. I know it's 780 pages, but as of today, you're already on page 270. I mean, we're getting there faster than you may think. Yeah, we're on page 270 already. So it's long, but to me it reads kind of fast. I mean, it's fast. But before I get started on that, I have to show you this. Look at this nail polish. Can you kind of see what it does? It has this crazy effect to it. When you move it, it kind of changes. It's this Mooncat nail polish, and it's called 404 Soul Not Found. And so what you do, and I have some Mooncat nail polish, but I've never done it. See, it has metal. The nail polish is metallic, and they give you this little magnet. And so you put it on your nails, and then you kind of hold the magnet over it, and it draws the metal, and it kind of changes the way it looks so that when it dries, it looks like that. And it comes in different colors, and it's just so cool. I just had to, that has nothing to do with anything. I just had to show you that. And I bought this new top coat that I haven't tried yet. I've never seen it before. It's Sally Hansen. It's a Miracle Gel top coat. It comes in this little gold container. This is a super shiny shield top coat. So I've applied 2 coats of this nail polish, and I'm giving it a little bit before I put this on. And I figured while I was waiting for it to kind of harden up some, we could sit here and read for a little bit so I don't have to mess with my nails. I just think that's so cool. Look at it. It has nothing to do with anything. And it looks better in real life than it does on the potato there, but I just had to show you that because I just thought that was just cool. Anyway, we're 270 pages into this story, so I'm just letting you know it's long, but we're making a whole lot of progress, and we're going to keep going. So right now, we are up to chapter 59. So we're going to start there. I'm just sitting here today. I hope that's all right. Hopefully that's not a problem. All right, chapter 59. Cars were lined up on the street in front of the building where Jerry lived like an elaborate parade. Limousines, sports cars, and every luxury SUV you can imagine. The valets were very busy that night. Aiden had a beautiful breezeway constructed to go the entire length of the sidewalk to the entrance, with lights and flowers decorating the underside. Plenty of media folks were on hand to photograph the guests and interview them as they arrived. Liddy scowled as they approached. "It's like TMZ threw up out here," she said to Aiden, who was driving. "Can't we just go park down the street at the pizza place and walk up here? Maybe go in the back way?" Aiden watched as the people in front of them exited a limo. "Why, are you ashamed to be seen with me?" "No, it's just all this fanfare, and for what? Who is Jerry really to get so much attention? You don't think he deserves it?" "Absolutely not." "Liddy, think about what he gave up. I'd be cheating him if I didn't do my best, and I don't cheat people." They slowly rolled forward after the limo pulled away. "Come on," Aiden said. "Just live in the moment." Valets opened both doors of Aiden's Corvette at the same time. The one on Liddy's side helped her out. She was instantly blinded by the flashing cameras and pulled back when someone shoved a microphone in her face. "Who are you wearing tonight?" a shrill lady wearing too much makeup asked her. "Ugh, damn, I'm not Buffalo Bill." Aiden quickly came to her rescue. "Everything we're wearing tonight was recycled, purchased locally at the Angry Aardvark. Thank you." Aiden tried to whisk Liddy away, but the reporter grabbed his arm. "What's your name?" "Lucifer," Liddy said. "Let us go." They continued walking past all the media, heading toward the apartment building entrance. "Liddy, are you okay?" Aiden asked. "You didn't have to snap at that reporter that way." I'm just overwhelmed right now. This is 1,000 times crazier than I'd expected it to be. What would help you enjoy it more? Something to calm me down. I don't do well in crowds or noisy places in general. The elevator's doors opened up as they entered the building. Other people were there waiting, but they didn't move. Aiden took Liddy's hand, and they walked right past everyone. They got into the elevator. Liddy closed her eyes and sighed. I'm weak in the knees, she said with a smile. I might need to sit down. That's what I was hoping for, Aiden said. Now open your eyes. We're almost there. She opened her eyes and looked at him. You really are a magic man. The elevator doors opened to a very crowded, bustling party, but Liddy wasn't bothered at all. Aiden took her hand. Shall we? Chapter 60. Jerry's apartment looked better than I've ever seen it. Aiden said that Amber did a lot of it, but it was probably mostly him. He needs to learn to give himself more credit. Whatever Aiden did in the elevator really helped. Crowds normally make me super anxious, but I was as calm as I could be. I recognized some of the people there from TV. They were mostly there as guests, but a few were walking around interviewing people and recording video. Somewhere out there is a clip of me next to Aiden, talking about what a magical and groovy time I was having. I don't know if it ever aired on TV, though. Jerry came running up not long after we got there. He looked like he just stepped off the set of a 70s Sears catalog. Hey, man, he said to Aiden without even acknowledging me. Everything looks so good. And Amber said you helped her pick out an outfit? I did, Aiden said. Jerry nodded over at Amber, who had her back turned to us. Check out what that dress does. It really hugs her ass just right, huh? Classy, I said. I'm going to go find something to drink. Hey, don't feel bad, Jerry called out as I walked away. Your ass would look good in it, too, if you had one. Aiden gave him a look and started tailing him off, but I was quickly out of earshot. An open bar was set up in the open area between the living room and the hallway leading to the bedrooms. I selected a bottle of Mela Yella, and the bartender removed the cap for me. I felt really fancy. Amber came over and swooned over my coat. That is just stunning, she said. Where did you find it? Aiden gave it to me. He surprised me with it just as we were leaving to come here. Let me take it for you, she said, and then paused. Actually, can you come back here into the guest bedroom? That's where we're putting all the coats. I started to say that wasn't necessary, but something about the way she looked at me made me think she really wanted me to. Sure, I said. She held my drink as I removed the coat. We swapped the drink for the coat, and she ran her fingers over the buttery soft suede. This is a really nice gift, she said. Follow me. I walked down the hallway behind her and couldn't help looking at the dress. It really did hug everything. I was impressed. We entered the bedroom, and she placed my coat on the bed. Listen, she said, I just wanted to let you know that Aiden's the one who showed me this dress in the closet, and he said I could wear it. I didn't know if maybe it was yours. Oh, and he said he made this necklace, too. She gestured to the choker she was wearing. I shrugged. They're not mine. It's okay by me. Well, whose dress is it if it's not yours, then? I honestly wouldn't worry about it, I said. Aiden's the type to plan for absolutely everything, even things most people wouldn't even think about. I guarantee you he bought that dress in case you needed something to wear tonight. And the necklace, she said? Aiden told me he made it. I stepped closer to take a look at it. Oh, yeah, that looks like something he'd make. It's really pretty. I love it, she said. She looked around the room and fidgeted with her belt. So I just wanted to make sure everything was okay, like no weird feelings about anything. No, we're good. I paused. Is there something else going on? I get this feeling. Is there something else bothering you? She lightly pinched her bottom lip between her thumb and index finger. I mean, do you ever get the feeling... What? I said. Jerry just seems distant sometimes. Like there's either something on his mind that he's not telling me, or something's going on with him that I don't know about. He goes down to that strip joint, gentleman's club, I said with a smile. Yeah, gotta say it right. But he goes there a lot. And I understand that it's a business and he has to run it. But sometimes I wonder if he's there on business or pleasure. You know? I'll say this, Amber. I'm not super fond of Jerry. That's probably, I think he knows I don't like him very much. I find him to be loud, rude, pompous. Anyway, yeah, not a big fan. But I was with him the first time Aiden encouraged him to go talk to you, and my goodness, he was nervous. You're like his dream girl. All he ever wanted was a chance to get to know you better and maybe ask you out. He was so scared to talk to you that first time. Amber smiled. It didn't show. He seemed pretty confident to me. Oh, trust me, he was a nervous wreck. My point is that you're all he's ever wanted. He's never even mentioned another woman since y'all met. Not that I know of, anyway. And given what he sacrificed just to have a chance with you, I stopped, realizing the mistake I had just made in saying that. My heart leapt in my throat. What do you mean? She asked. How did he sacrifice anything? We heard a knock at the open bedroom door. Aiden had just appeared there. Liddy, can you please come with me? Whew, saved by the bell. Chapter 61. Liddy quickly exited the bedroom and walked down toward the dining room with Aiden. That was close, she whispered. She suspects something, Aiden said, but I'm not sure why. Is he doing something? Liddy asked. Amber seems to think he might be doing stuff or getting into something with somebody else at the strip club. Hup, Aiden said, holding up a finger. Gentleman's club. Booty slinging joint. I like that even better, he said. Now, Liddy, we need to mingle with the guests and talk Jerry up. Maybe admire his paintings. Talk about his book. I haven't read it, Liddy said. I know. They stood there for a moment, surveying the room. Everyone seemed to be having a good time. Let's do it, Aiden said. What am I supposed to say about a book I've never read? Just use the word groundbreaking and ask the person what they thought of it. Can't you just download it into my brain or something? Where's the fun in that? Aiden asked with a smile. It's fun to watch you handle things like this. I really enjoy your improv. Fun for you maybe, but not for me. Fine, would you rather do something else? Like what? You could go up on the roof with me to see my city swing. What the hell's a city swing? This is Greensboro. Nothing's swinging here. Aiden took Liddy's hand. Come with me to mingle. We'll get to see everybody's hippie outfits if nothing else. They both had a good time admiring Jerry's paintings and talking to the guests. Jerry was all smiles, loving the attention. He gave an impromptu speech at one point about his book and how Amber was his inspiration for both his writing and his art. She blushed, but her smile was stunning. Liddy saw her reaction and nudged Aiden. Look at that, she said, nodding toward Amber. Whatever she was worried about before, she seems okay now. Was that some of your magic? Call it a side effect of it. Call it a contact high. Liddy was about to make a lame Cheech and Chong joke, then someone approached from behind and touched them both on the shoulder. Aiden and Liddy turned around. Hello, you two. My name is Justice. Come with me. She gently pushed them away from each other. No touching. Let's go. Without a word, they followed the woman down the hallway leading back to the bedrooms. She stopped and motioned for them to enter Jerry's bedroom. Aiden and Liddy gazed at a beautifully decorated table. 2 chairs waited for them. Liddy looked up at the banner above the table. Fortune teller, she whispered. Aiden shuddered a bit. He started to reach for Liddy's hand, but Justice stopped him. Oh, no. She slid the 2 chairs farther apart. Have a seat. No holding hands with anyone but me. You will not do that again. Won't do that again, Aiden repeated softly. He shook his head while looking down at the floor. Aiden and Liddy sat rigidly in their seats, and Justice took her seat on the other side of the table. She looked back and forth from one to the other and smiled. I've been watching you two, she said, then stopped herself. Watching y'all. She winked at Liddy. Your country accent is so adorable. It makes you sound sort of dumb, but Southern, Liddy whispered. Excuse me? Liddy started coughing and scratching at her throat. Southern accent, she managed to say. Not country. Oh, I apologize. Sorry to be so rude. Justice waved her hand and Liddy collapsed onto the floor. Take a few minutes to recover while I talk to your friend here. Justice leaned forward and took Aiden's left hand. She turned it over and studied it carefully. Look at that lifeline, she said, tracing her finger down his palm, leaving a trail of golden light behind. Aiden watched her calmly with no expression on his face. You've led a very interesting life, huh? I see a lot of conflict in your past. You've had to make some tough choices, too. Lots of things came together to create the life you have now. She looked up at Aiden, still holding his hand. Aiden, are you happy? Has your life turned out the way you'd hoped? Aiden appeared confused for a moment as he looked into her eyes. Happy, he said slowly. Happy with my life. He glanced down at Liddy, still laying motionless on the floor in front of her chair. Forget about her, Justice snapped. She's not the answer to my question. She's not the answer to anything. Aiden looked down at Liddy again, this time for much longer. Turning back to Justice, he nodded slightly. Happiness, he whispered. Happiness here. Happiness is here, with her. Justice sighed and looked down at Aiden's palm again. Let's look into your future. You're not human, but that doesn't mean you don't have one. She stroked his hand gently, then trailed her fingers down the underside of his forearm. I don't see things ending well for you, she said, and I don't even need to look at your palm to see it. You'll ultimately end up stuck in hell for all eternity, separated from the ones you love, the one you love. And there's not even a sliver of a chance of things turning out differently. You thought you'd swoop down here and be a hero. God, Aiden, you were so very wrong. She pushed his shirt sleeve up and caressed his arm. Why couldn't you appreciate what you had? I'll never stop asking myself that. You never... The sound of laughter traveled down the hallway. 2 party guests were heading their way. Not now, Justice said with a disgusted wave of her hand. The people went back up the hall. Bothersome humans. She remembered the human lying on the floor. Speaking of pests, Aiden, come around the table now and give me a neck massage. I'm going to talk to your little friend. Aiden tugged at his shirt sleeve like a robot. Can't. Here. She yanked his sleeve back down. Is that better? Massage, Aiden said as he stood up. He moved stiffly around the table and stood behind Justice's chair, rubbing her neck in an awkward manner. Your technique could use some work, she said. Being here on this nasty planet put knots in me. Dig in with your thumbs. It's ridiculous that I should even have to feel this way. Liddy, get up. Get back in your chair. Liddy sat up quickly with a sudden loud intake of air. Justice jumped at the sound of it and reflexively looked around. Jesus, get in your chair and act normal. Liddy took her seat. Normal, she whispered. Justice grinned. Look behind me. Look what your boyfriend's doing. Liddy looked past Aiden at the closet. Pretty paint, she muttered. Good Lord, what does he even see in you? Anyway, let's have a look at your left hand. She grabbed Liddy's arm and jerked it across the table toward her. Turn your palm up. She twisted Liddy's arm hard. Ow! Shut up! Paint, Liddy whispered. I think I've scrambled your brain a little bit. Aiden can sort it out later. You've dealt with loss in your life. Parents, Liddy said. I know. And your uncle. And your grandma soon enough. Oops, I wasn't supposed to say that out loud. Oh well. Grandma died, Liddy said sadly. No, Not die. Oh, yeah, Justice said with a chuckle. Definitely die. Big die. You won't even get to spend Christmas with her this year. Liddy's gaze traveled up to Aiden. She looked at him as if she were seeing him for the first time. Angel? She said, looking back at Justice. Her eyes widened and she pulled her hand back. Bitch, she said in a gravelly tone. Good, bad. Bad, good Angel. Justice stood up suddenly, nearly knocking Aiden down. She started heading for the hallway, backing out of the room and keeping her eyes on Liddy. Let me finish your reading, she said. You'll spend eternity alone, and no one can save you. She pointed at Aiden. Not even him. So enjoy what little bit of time you have left here on Earth, because nothing good awaits you. Nothing. The last thing she saw before leaving the room was Aiden stumbling, reaching out to Liddy's grasping hands. Chapter 62. I felt Aiden's grip on my hands before my eyes could focus enough for me to see it. We were sitting on the floor in Jerry's bedroom, and I was thoroughly confused. I couldn't even put words together in my mind to express my feelings. Aiden slowly stood up, still holding my hands. He helped me to my feet, and we just stood there, staring at each other. After a minute, he drew me into an embrace. He'd never done anything like that before. It was so warm, so comforting. I melted into his arms and was in no hurry to end it. We stayed like that for a couple of minutes before he made a move to let go, step back, and look at me again. What are we? I started to say. Shh, no. He retrieved my coat from the bed. Come with me. He helped me put on my coat, and we walked back up the hallway together, still holding hands. Several guests tried to interact with us, but neither of us said anything. We went up to the roof. People were milling around, enjoying drinks and talking. Some of them were gathered around a contraption that I didn't recall ever seeing up there before. One of the guests saw Aiden and waved at him as we approached. Hey, Aiden? Isn't your name Aiden? Aiden nodded. Yeah, we were wondering how this thing works. We figured we better not mess with it before somebody could show us how it works. Aiden stared at the group of people for a moment with a strange, weary expression on his face. He slowly raised his hand and made a sweeping motion toward the group. One by one, without saying a word, they all walked away. I'm still jealous of his ability to do that. If I ever get to choose a superpower, it would be whatever that was. I could get a better look at the contraption once everybody was gone. They completely disappeared, like he'd sent them to a whole other dimension or something. I'm pretty sure they just went back downstairs, though. Aiden walked up the stairs to a platform that sat directly in front of the thing and opened a door. The device looked like a wicker helicopter attached to a monorail going around the entire top of the building. He motioned for me to climb up the steps and go through the door. City swing, he said. I giggled a bit because it felt like two cavemen trying to communicate with each other. It scared me. I've never been terribly fond of heights, but I climbed the stairs. The swing was fastened to a base, and it looked pretty secure. I went to step inside the swing, and it moved a little bit. No, I said, looking back at Aiden, who was still holding the door open. He stepped in closer to me. Trust me, he whispered. I went forward and into the swing, which was full of the biggest, softest pillows I've ever seen. They were arranged like a giant nest. A fluffy blanket lay in the middle of the pillows. The top and sides of the swing were open except for a few metal frame pieces and decorative wicker. The top was attached to a cable, which in turn was attached to the bottom of a monorail. Aiden stepped into the swing, shimmied around me, and made himself comfortable on the pillows. No words. I sighed, then lowered myself down into the pillows after grabbing the blanket. I rested my body against his, covered both of us under the blanket, and felt his strong arms wrap around me. How do we... I stopped. He looked at me for a moment and then up at the monorail. I felt the swing lift slightly and start to move. It glided silently away from the platform, then out away from the top of the building. I couldn't see before how far away from the building that this thing went. We were suspended 20 stories from the ground, nothing between me and death but one spindly little cable. I looked back at Aiden again. He smiled a little smile and gave me a wink. "Close your eyes," he said, and I did. "Relax." The swing glided slowly around the top of the building. I felt the wind on my face and arms and was glad that Aiden made me put my coat on. It was chilly. The acceleration surprised me. I kept my eyes closed, but I could feel the swing moving faster and faster. The centrifugal force pressed me into Aiden's body. He held me a little tighter. "Open your eyes," he said. I opened my eyes and gasped at the sight of my beautiful city at sunset. The opening of the swing had rotated outward. Going around Jerry's building in the swing gave us a wonderful panoramic view of it. "So beautiful," I said, and closed my eyes again. He stroked my cheek gently with his thumb. It was heaven, pure heaven. I didn't want it to end. We stayed in the swing for a good while, long enough to enjoy the sunset, and then it was time to return to the party. We stepped down from the swing, and Aiden closed the door. "I feel better," he said as we stood on the stairs to the swing. "How about you?" "What happened down there?" I asked. How did we end up back there in that bedroom?" "I honestly don't know, but maybe we shouldn't worry about it now. Everything is okay, and I was happy to let you try out my swing, or I guess I should say Jerry's swing." "You're going to give him credit for it?" Aiden shrugged. "Why not?" I don't think it's cool that he gets to just sit back and do nothing while you bust your ass coming up with all these ideas for him." Aiden took my hand and led me down the stairs. "I could have an ulterior motive," he said. "Like what?" "Like keeping Jerry happy. Like giving him more reasons to not screw this thing up." "Yeah, but who cares if he does that?" He brushed the shag on my coat collar lightly. "The happier he is, the longer I may get to stay here with you." I felt a hot flush coming to my cheeks and looked away. "Well, yeah. That'd be nice." The door of the roof opened and we heard music. "Sounds like things are heating up," Aiden said. "Let's go." Chapter 63. A space had been cleared in the larger part of the living room and people were dancing to the music. Aiden and Liddy descended the stairs from the roof and stood off to the side for a bit, watching everyone. "Where's Jerry?" Liddy asked. Aiden nodded to the left. "Over there, dancing with the mayor's wife." Liddy watched Jerry awkwardly try to do a little spin with the elderly lady. "He's acting like he'll break her if he's not careful." The mayor politely cut in and danced away with his wife, and Amber took her place. Liddy crossed her arms and stared at him. "Are they happy together?" she asked. "Tentatively," Aiden said. "The people I work with never seem to hold on to happiness for very long." "I guess the thought of eternal damnation puts a damper on things," Liddy said. "Probably. Deep down, most of them don't think they deserve to be happy. That's not my doing. They felt that way before they ever met me. Couldn't you fix that for them?" "I can't change the way people feel. External things are no problem to change. The stuff inside a person, their feelings, that's beyond my control." "But you're really good at influencing people," Liddy said. "You got Amber to like him. That's something." He shrugged. "All I did was give him a push in the right direction. And a nice body, and lots of money, tons of special talents." Aiden turned to Liddy and placed a finger on her lips. Her whole body stiffened. "It's been a while since we danced," he said. "Would you care to dance with me?" He removed his finger from her lips, and she smiled. "In my backyard." "That was a beautiful night," she said. "I'd love to." Time of the Season began to play. Liddy took off her coat and set it in a chair. Aiden took Liddy's hand and led her out on the floor. The dance was very free-form. Liddy laughed and as Aiden led and maneuvered them through the room among the other dancers. "This is incredible," she said into his ear over the music. "It's like we've been dancing together for years. You're really good." "It helps when you have a good partner," Aiden said. "Oh, stop. I'm no dancer." "You're very graceful." No, I'm goofy. He pulled her close and looked into her eyes. You're beautiful. You're much more than you think you are. Just for tonight, I want you to stop being so critical of yourself. Okay? I'm sorry. It's not. Aiden held her hand up in his to give her a little spin, but as she turned, a burst of flames erupted a few feet away. Liddy felt her hand being pulled away from his, and she stumbled backward several steps before she could catch herself. Everyone scattered. Liddy looked around in the chaos, but Aiden was nowhere to be found. You're about to meet one of my favorite new people. I'm not going to say anything else. Chapter 64. The waiting room was normally quiet, but on this day it was dead silent. Aiden waited alone on a wooden bench, sitting up straight, staring ahead at the receptionist's desk. After a few moments, the little window slid open. Gervais. Aiden rose slowly and buttoned his blazer, grateful that his hippie outfit had been left behind on Earth. He was back in the clothing that made him most comfortable, a three-piece suit. He approached the window and smiled warmly at the lady seated at the desk. Claire, so good to see you. The lady looked down at a notebook, flipped through a few pages, and then looked back up at Aiden. You don't have an appointment. That's true. He looked around and then leaned in close to her. I was wondering if you could do me a little favor. It's not something that could get me in trouble, is it? Aiden smiled again. Well, I think trouble is a bit strong. Aiden, no. I'm already on punishment as it is. I'm in no mood to further jeopardize myself to benefit you or anybody else. All I'd need you to do is take a message. Well, that, and promise you won't tell anyone I'd been here. She raised an eyebrow. How am I supposed to take a message if you haven't been here? I'd leave it to you to figure that out. You're so smart you'll have no trouble, I'm sure. Did you just come here to blow smoke up my ass? I'm very busy today. Now, if you don't mind, please wait, Aiden said. He reached into his suit pocket and pulled out a small paperback book. He turned it over and held it up. I have something for you. He held the book up so Claire could see it. She rose slowly from her chair and gasped, Where did you get that? I picked it up while I was out and about. You don't have this one, do you? She reached for it, but Aiden pulled it back. I've never seen that one, Claire said. Aiden looked at the book's cover again. Kathy. He looked at Claire. Kathy cartoons. Claire adjusted her glasses and squinted at the book's title. Men should come with instruction booklets. She laughed. Oh, I just love her. Kathy gets me. We have the same life. She looked down at her desk at the books and papers scattered about. She knows what the struggle is like. You just want to pull your hair out some days. I know it hasn't been easy for you, Aiden said. We all have our crosses to bear, so to speak. Claire leaned in and whispered harshly, It's not fair, though. All this... Not now, Aiden said. I understand your frustration, but we can't discuss it like this. She made an exaggerated show of grabbing her hair and squinching up her face. Ack, she said in a strained whisper. Aiden smiled a little and handed her the book. Ack, indeed. She thumbed through the book, then tucked it away in a drawer. I'll definitely enjoy reading that, she said. And Aiden, don't worry. You were never here. My message? Oh, right, she said. Who's your message for? Denali Seoris. When you see him again, tell him to come find me right away. I need his help. Something going on? Just tell him when you see him. Please. Chapter 65. Everybody in the room freaked out when that fire erupted out of nowhere, including me. Aiden disappeared, and for a minute, I actually thought he had spontaneously combusted or something, like my dancing and supreme sexiness were just too much, and his celestial composition couldn't handle it. Yeah, no. I was out on the balcony having a smoke when he showed back up. He parted the beaded curtain in front of the sliding door with a flourish and joined me out there. Where'd you go? I asked. What happened? I'm working on it, he said, untangling a bit of fringe on his jacket. Something is definitely amiss. You just now noticing that? It's been going on for a while. He glanced down at my cigarette and gave me a disapproving glance. I'm working on it. I took a long drag and blew the smoke over the railing. A gust of wind carried it up and away. Are we ever going to successfully complete a fun experience together? Every time we try to do anything, and I'm not faulting you for this at all, everything gets screwed up. Aiden grabbed my cigarette and took a drag and then handed it back to me. I stood there, mouth half open, and let out a weird little ha! I'm trying, Liddy. I'm doing what I can to figure this out. What the hell? Do you actually get anything out of that? No, but the act alone is calming somehow. Not that I condone it. It's terrible for you, and I really wish you'd quit. Not now, man. Aiden turned and looked back inside. People were grabbing their coats. We need to do something, he said. I'm going back in. Jerry's going to need my help. Can you come with me after you finish that? He nodded at my cigarette. I extinguished it in a nearby ashtray. That's a gorgeous ashtray, I said to Aiden with a smile. Thanks for making it for me. He smiled back. It was already there, actually. We went back inside, and I stood beside Aiden as he surveyed the room. Okay, he said. Jerry's up on the roof in the city swing with Amber, and he has no idea yet what happened. Can you go up and tell him? I'll handle the people down here. How are you going to do that? I'm the magic man. I'll work a little magic. Jerry and Amber were just getting out of the swing when I got up on the roof. Y'all need to come back down, I said. Jerry looked confused. We are down. No, I mean back downstairs. There was this weird fire that erupted out of nowhere, and it freaked everybody out. Aiden's down there trying to convince them to stay. We hurried back downstairs, and whatever Aiden did must have worked. I don't think anybody left. Jerry saw Aiden and approached him. What's going on down here? Can't you keep things under control? Amber looked around. The music stopped. I'll see if I can get it going again. Jerry can help with the music, Aiden said suddenly. Me? Don't we have people here to handle that? I thought we had a band or something. Aiden pulled a cordless microphone out of his jacket. Trust me, he said, you want to handle this. He walked over to a little stage that I swear wasn't there 5 minutes earlier, and he tapped on the microphone to get everyone's attention. Ladies and gentlemen, you're in for a real treat tonight. Jerry told me not to do this, but I think you're going to love it. With all his other talents, his painting, his writing, his business, his charity work, he has one more surprise for you, and tonight he's going to share it with all of you. Jerry shuffled over to the corner of the stage and motioned to Aiden, who approached him. Hey, you're not expecting me to share that bedroom thing, he whispered. Good Lord, Jerry, Aiden said. Of course not. Come on up here. Aiden reached back and picked up this old-fashioned men's hat and put it on Jerry's head. Jerry flinched like it was a snake. What are you doing? This doesn't go with my outfit at all. Sure it does. Jerry looked down at his clothes the same time we all did, and we gasped at the change. His hippie outfit was gone, and he was wearing a houndstooth check suit with a black tie. Ah, Jerry said, a zoot suit. No, Aiden said, just a different sort of vintage attire. I hate it. Listen, Aiden said, I want you to take this microphone and treat it like your paintbrushes. Close your eyes and just let whatever happens, happen. Music swelled up out of nowhere. I heard a piano and some sort of flute. Aiden patted Jerry on the shoulder, then hopped off the stage. Like your paintbrushes, he repeated with a wink. Jerry seemed to get what Aiden was saying, but I was completely lost. He looked out at the crowd. Everybody stood there waiting to see what was about to happen. He took a deep breath and held the microphone up to his lips. Fly me to the moon. Let me play among the stars. Let me see what spring is like on a Jupiter and Mars. We all gasped. It sounded fake, like a sound effect. Aiden was standing beside me. I grabbed the fringe on his jacket. Oh my God! He sounds just like Frank Sinatra. How'd you do that? Jerry kept singing, but he looked more shocked than anybody initially. He settled in pretty quickly and went with it, though. In other words, hold my hand. In other words, baby, kiss me. Aiden reached for my hand and gave it a squeeze. I put my arm around his shoulders, and we swayed to the music. Fill my heart with song, and let me sing forevermore. You are all I long for, all I worship and adore. The crowd knew all the words, and it struck me as odd. A lot of the partygoers were young and probably didn't grow up listening to that sort of music. I decided to just enjoy the moment and not worry about it too much. Aiden and I sang along too. It was a brief moment of pure, innocent happiness. In other words, please be true. In other words, I love you. I'd held Aiden's gaze right up to that last line, and then I looked away. Chapter 66. The party was a great success. It was the talk of the town for weeks. Everybody raved about Jerry's paintings, his book, and his amazing singing voice. People knew all about him, but he still maintained an air of mystery. How did he just pop up out of nowhere? Who is he? History and mystery. Aiden had struck the perfect balance. Thanksgiving was coming. Aiden knew that Liddy's grandmother didn't have much longer, and deep down Liddy knew it too. They enjoyed a nice day with her. It was one of her better days, even without Aiden's touch. Aiden had to make a stop by Jerry's homeless shelter after their trip to Sylvia and Warren's house. Jerry only ever remembered that it existed when Amber mentioned it, but things still had to be tended to. He pulled up out front and surveyed the building. Liddy sat up in the passenger seat of Aiden's Corvette and squinted, trying to figure out what Aiden was looking at. "Do I need to go in?" she asked. "I'm kind of tired. No offense or anything. Not that... I don't know what I'm trying to say." Aiden reached over and took her left hand. He closed his eyes and squeezed her hand slightly. "Oh, whoa!" Liddy sat straight up but didn't pull her hand away. "That's like electricity." Aiden opened his eyes. "Are you still tired?" he asked. "I'd say no. I think I'm good." "What did you do?" "I remember feeling something like that the first time I saw you in Dalton Fisher." "You remember that? You were a little boy in a suit and you wanted to shake my hand." Aiden smiled. "I remember. You were so confused." "I was. I had no idea back then what all you were capable of." "Would you like to go into the shelter with me? We could check out things briefly before I take you home." "Yeah, sure. What all do they do in there?" "We have a food pantry, a small area for serving hot meals, and we also have the capacity to house up to 30 people at any given time." "Who takes care of all that? Did you have to hire a bunch of people?" "We have volunteers and a few paid staff members. I manage all of it." Liddy moved to open the car door, and Aiden did the same. They both got out and started walking toward the building. "But how does an angel do all of that?" Liddy asked. "It's not difficult. Daniel took care of the hiring and finding an accounting team to handle the books. I already had a lot of that in place for the gentlemen's club, so I just asked Daniel to have them manage this too." "Who's Daniel?" Liddy asked. "Is that weird guy I've seen at Jerry's?" Aiden opened the front door and held it for Liddy to walk inside. "Okay," he said. "When I work with someone, one of my first tasks is to find somebody to handle day-to-day administrative tasks. I find my Daniel for that project." They approached the front desk and were greeted by a very chipper young lady. "Aiden," she said, "it's great to see you again." He nodded to her. "Nice to see you. Can I help you with anything?" "No, I'd just like to look around, maybe give my friend a tour of the place." "Oh, I almost forgot." He reached in his jacket pocket and pulled out a box. "This is for you." "Oh my, thank you so much." Liddy stood on tiptoe to try to see what Aiden had given her. "What was that?" she whispered to Aiden. The receptionist held it up. Liddy felt bad because she realized just then that her whisper wasn't terribly quiet and the acoustics in that room were really good. Turtles! It was a box of little chocolate caramel candies. "I love those," Liddy said. The receptionist offered her one, but Liddy politely declined. Aiden and Liddy went down a side hall to the left of the receptionist's desk. "There's a bunch of empty rooms," Liddy said. "Are they just for storage or something?" "They're for whatever we need them for," Aiden said. "I designed this place to be dynamic. It can change with the needs of the community." They stopped to look out a large window. A courtyard stood there outside, and children were playing on a little playground. "We had a big Thanksgiving lunch here earlier," Aiden said. "Some people decided to hang around for a bit. I like to give them some nice spaces to congregate." "You did an excellent job in Dalton Fisher," Liddy said. "The church..." I didn't really appreciate it at the time, with the stuff going on, but it was really nice. I liked all those little nooks and crannies, all the bay windows with the padded benches. Those were so cozy. Thank you, Aiden nodded just down the hall. That must be a theme of mine. Liddy looked down the hall at the bay window and bench. You're nothing if not consistent, she said, and I love that. You think about people's comfort a lot, don't you? It's my job. I mean, even for people you're not working for, just everyday people. It's just weird that an angel like you, Aiden laughed as Liddy's voice trailed off. Just because I'm an agent of Satan doesn't mean I don't care about people. But you'll convince people to sell their souls and end up in hell, so... Aiden turned away from the window and faced her. My job is unsavory. Of course it is. I know how much my work bothers you, and I appreciate you choosing to spend time with me, even if it makes you uncomfortable. Think of it like I'm a sleazy, crooked used car salesman. I can't. You'd never wear a cheap, ugly suit. It's just an idea. Now, the used car salesman has a job to do. People may not like the way he goes about doing his job, but still, he does what he believes he has to do in order to get the job done. He may lie, cheat, and steal, but he gets it done. Is it ethical? Is it moral? No, but he does what he has to do. That doesn't mean he can't get off work and go volunteer at a soup kitchen or look in on an elderly neighbor to make sure she's doing okay. A person's job doesn't have to define them. He gestured for the two of them to continue down the hall. They went through a door that opened out into the courtyard. Individuals and several families were out there enjoying the unseasonably warm weather. It's the behavior, Liddy said, watching two boys play catch a few yards away. It's not about whatever job somebody has. What do they do? The used car salesman cheats people. He's a cheat. Not a good person, in my opinion. He can dish out soup 24/7, and it wouldn't change the fact that he's a crappy person. They took a seat at the end of a long picnic table. A family was playing a game of cards at the other end. You're only focusing on the negative, Aiden said. Is that really fair? Should you judge people based on one factor alone? Some things are just so bad that they override everything else, Liddy said. Do you really think being a sleazy businessman is that bad? Any reasonable person going to a used car lot knows what to expect. It's people's souls, Liddy said, leaning in toward Aiden. We're not talking about something as trivial as a bad deal on a car. You can't compare the two. The family at the end of the table glanced over at them. Aiden blew a puff of air in their direction, and without saying a word, they all got up and walked away, leaving their cards behind. Aiden turned back to Liddy. I want you to understand that I never allow anyone to enter into an agreement with me without full knowledge of what they're doing. They know exactly what they'll get from me and exactly what they'll owe me in return. They can make the deal or they can choose to walk away. Perhaps what I do doesn't sit right with you, but you can't call my ethics into question. No one goes into this blind or deceived. Liddy sat back. I feel sick to my stomach. You're just... Aiden reached across the table for her hand, but she pulled it away. I feel really weird being around you right now. Watching you do stuff for Jerry doesn't bother me so much, but being here at this place, I don't know. Somehow it just feels evil, like it's messing with the order of the universe or something. Aiden started to say something and then paused. It's a selfish thing, I think, he said after a moment. Selfish how? I get a good feeling from it. It makes me happy. Does it really? Aiden looked surprised. Don't you get a good feeling from helping people? Yeah, but I am a person. You get the same feeling from helping animals, don't you? Liddy rolled her eyes. We're living creatures here on Earth, and I'm not. You're not from here, Aiden. You're not one of us. The look on his face made her instantly regret saying that. But it's true, she thought. He looked hurt by what she said, and she hated that, but it wasn't a lie. You're right, Aiden said. It is true. I'm not one of you. But I've spent quite a lot of time here, many lifetimes in human terms, and I've come to have a great deal of respect and admiration for humans, most of them anyway. Do you like people? Liddy asked. Do you? Liddy laughed. I mean, I guess most of them are okay. You probably spend more time around the Jerrys and the Pastor Fausts of the world. Jerry's really not that bad, Aiden said, so far. Ah, do they have a habit of turning on you? Like a dog or like milk? Either way, Liddy said. Sometimes like a dog, sometimes like milk. It's always interesting to watch the change unfold. Do they all do that? No, some of them are consistently easy to work with, but most of them fight the very end. If they've been good to me, I'll come in their sleep and take them. It's still unpleasant, but not quite so jarring. Do you ever hang out with other angels? Aiden suddenly stood up. Come with me. I have an idea. First, do you still feel sick? A little, yeah. Come on, we'll take care of that on the way. Chapter 67. Aiden convinced me to let him hold my hand as we walked across the courtyard toward a set of double doors. He said it'd take away the sick feeling, but it didn't. Not completely, anyway. Don't think I ever forgot who I was spending my time with. I'd try to focus on whatever was going on and enjoy myself if possible, but it was never far from my mind. I couldn't see him as altogether bad, though. He's not. But then we went back in the building and back up the hall, headed toward the receptionist's desk. The lady that Aiden had given the turtles to was sitting there enjoying them. They're delicious, she said, holding her hand up to cover her mouth as she chewed. Aiden smiled at her as we walked past. I'm glad you like 'em. After we got far enough away to be out of earshot, I asked him, do you do little stuff like that because it makes you feel good or to get people to do more for you? Can it be both? Call it a win-win situation. They feel special because I remember something they like, and I had the forethought to stop and pick some up. Somehow I don't see you standing in line at the Walmart to buy candy, I said. You conjured those turtles, didn't you? Guilty. He looked at me and winked. You're just jealous because you can't do that. I can think of a lot of times in my past where it would have come in handy, that's for sure. Missing homework, Grandma's birthday present. Man, y'all are lucky. We came to a stop just outside the main dining hall. Not lucky, Aiden said. It's just a different set of skills. Humans can do neat stuff too. Like what? You can get the hiccups. Oh, come on, that's dumb. It looks like some people really enjoy it. They laugh about it. I think they're annoying as hell, I said. You can love. You can feel love. Are you saying you can't? He was about to answer when we heard a muffled noise and then a thud coming from inside the dining hall. It was a weird combination of sounds, like something that sticks in your mind and you can still vividly recall it years later. It was the sound of a woman collapsing onto the tile floor. People rushed in to help her, but Aiden somehow got there first. Don't move her, he said. Ma'am, I'm going to unbutton your shirt at the top and loosen it a little. Just try to stay calm. Should we call for an ambulance? Someone asked. Liddy, come over here, Aiden said like he didn't hear the question. I came and stood beside him. He was knelt down, folding up his suit jacket to put under her head. What can I do? I asked. Should I call 911? Kneel down here with me. What's wrong with her? The woman appeared to be unconscious at this point. She's having a heart attack, Aiden said, and everyone standing around us gasped. One of them pulled out a cell phone and started dialing. I assume it was 911. Please back up, Aiden said. Everybody took a few steps back. I'm going to let you do this, Aiden said to me. Me? Do what? CPR? I don't remember how. No, he said, looking at me. I'm going to let you heal her. Aiden, quit playing around and help her. They're getting an ambulance out here, the guy with the phone said. Aiden grabbed my hand. Run your fingers up and down her chest, he said. Under her shirt? No, over her shirt. Just lightly run your fingers up and down. I didn't question it, I just did it. Aiden held onto my left hand, and I used my right hand to do what he said. I felt this weird sensation running through my left hand and arm, through my hand, and coming out of the ends of my fingers. It was a tingly, popping sensation. Tiny little pinpricks of light arced from my fingers onto the woman's chest. "Oh, God," I said, "that's so... my insides are on fire." "Keep going," Aiden said. "You're almost there." I felt like somebody was burning my back, shoulders, and arms from the inside out, but I kept going. After about 30 seconds, the woman's eyes began to open. Aiden told me to just rest my hand on her chest. The hot, tingly sensation started to fade away. A few minutes later, she was sitting up and talking. The ambulance took her away about 20 minutes later. Aiden and I stood in the parking lot and watched it race away to the hospital. I suddenly felt very tired again. Aiden looked over at me. "How was it?" he asked. "How was what?" "Saving that woman's life." "I didn't do that. You did. I was just like the extension cord." We walked over to the car and got in. "I was hoping you'd get a good feeling from helping a person." "So you let me... Hang on. Are you saying that because you let me help her or because you made her have that heart attack?" "Did it not make you feel good to save her life?" "Oh my God, you did. You caused that to happen. I wouldn't have let her die. She'll be fine." "Are you saying you caused it?" He never did answer me. Chapter 68. Liddy didn't say much on the ride back to her house. Aiden decided not to press her. Almost everything he'd tried to do lately had backfired, and trying to explain himself just seemed to make matters worse. Rolling into the driveway, Liddy was already reaching for the door. "Can I just have some time to myself for the rest of the day?" she asked, her eyes fixed on the house. "Of course. Would you like to go somewhere for breakfast in the morning?" "My treat. You pick, I'll pay." "I'd rather not. I'd like to just have a day. You know, sometimes I'm reminded of what you are in a way that I can't ignore. It's hard to take. I need some time to myself." "Liddy, I didn't mean any harm. All I want is for you to be happy." She got out of the car and then turned and bent down to face him. "Then just give me some time to myself. Please." She closed the car door and turned to walk toward the house, and then stopped at the sight of someone standing on her front steps. Her brain saw the man as a cardboard cutout at first. "That can't be right," she thought with a weird little laugh. Aiden saw him too and immediately got out of the car. "Denali," he said, "what took you so long?" Liddy took a few steps back. "Holy shit, it is you." She looked over at Aiden to gauge his reaction. "What's he doing here?" she asked. "I've been busy," Denali said to Aiden. He looked at Liddy and smiled. "Wow, look at you." He came down from the steps and approached her. "She's aged pretty well," he said, looking at Liddy, but talking to Aiden. "Not bad." Liddy huffed. "Excuse me?" Aiden and Denali both looked at her for a moment, and then at each other. "What are y'all doing?" Liddy asked. "Whatever it is, you need to stop." "I sent word that I wanted Denali to come find me," Aiden said. "He's not here for you. I wanted to ask for his help with all the strange things that keep happening." Denali looked puzzled. "Strange things?" "No hello or anything," Liddy said. "Don't you think that's kind of rude?" "Sorry," Denali said, stepping in closer and extending his hand. "It's so good to see you again, Miss Liddy. Hello." She reached out and shook his hand. "It's been a long time." Denali laughed. "It seems that way." "What does that mean?" Liddy asked. "I swear y'all talk in riddles half the time." Denali looked over at Aiden. "That accent kills me." Aiden just smiled. They all went inside and sat in the living room. Liddy offered them something to drink out of habit before stopping to think about who she was talking to. "So tell me what's been going on," Denali said. "Crazy stuff," Liddy said. "We can't ever have a good time. Something bizarre always happens to ruin it." "Is it the same bizarre thing every time?" "No," Aiden said. "It's never the same thing twice." "Are there any common themes?" Denali asked. "Are you both always present, or is someone else always there? Do these things tend to happen in the same place?" "They've happened everywhere," Liddy said. But it always involves the two of us, Aiden said, looking at Liddy. As far as I know, we're always both involved somehow. Unless you haven't had any strange experiences when you were alone, have you? Liddy thought about it for a minute. No, nothing beyond the occasional bump in the night situation, but I have those even when we weren't hanging around Greensboro. Do you have any initial thoughts? Aiden asked Denali. Denali looked around the room. Have you two been spending a lot of time together? Bit too much for my taste at the moment, Liddy muttered. We have spent a lot of time together, Aiden said. Denali glanced over at Liddy and then back at Aiden. Can we speak in private for a moment? Who? Liddy asked. I'd like to have a word with Aiden in private, just for a moment. Aiden turned to Liddy and nodded. Just a brief moment? You could have had me drink some tea and knock me out, but yeah. I figured you'd rather just go upstairs for a minute, Aiden said. Liddy reached for her purse. Nah, I'll go out on the deck for a smoke. Just come get me when you're done. She grabbed her cigarettes and a lighter and left. Denali watched her go and waited for her to close the door. All right, he said. What the hell are you doing here? Aiden gave him an innocent look. What do you mean? I'm right where I'm supposed to be. Like hell you are. I take it you completed your last assignment. Aiden stroked the shoulder strap of Liddy's purse. Possibly. And you haven't reported in, have you? I'll get to it. Right now I'm working on a special case. Denali laughed. What? Trying to convince Liddy to sell her soul? No, I'm working with someone else who just happens to be in the same city as your good friend Liddy. Aiden raised an eyebrow and smiled. What are the odds? Denali leaned in. You better hope you don't get caught. You'd be in for a world of trouble if you did. Oh, don't be so dramatic. I found a great person to work with here. Jerry McAvoy. Who's that? He's become pretty famous around here. He's very talented. I'm sure. What's the angle? Distraction. Drawing people away into mindless pursuits. So a less direct path than Faust, Denali said. Oh, definitely. This one falls along the same parameters as my last person. The porn star. It's essentially the same deal. It won't matter unless it was pre-approved. Aiden waved the statement away. We aren't totally bound by that. If you snag someone while working with your assigned person, sure, but you're a long way from your last guy. So what? You just happen to bump into Jerry from California? Oh, and he happens to live in the very same city as someone you know? No, Aiden, you're going to get in big trouble if you're ever caught. Denali glanced out the back window and saw Liddy. You have to think about her, too. What if... She's fine, Aiden said. Denali sat there for a moment watching Liddy play with her lighter and kick at a rock on the deck. But the two of you... Aiden, you can't be here. But I am here. If you... And I'm not leaving. You'll stay, even with all these strange things that keep happening. I was hoping you could help me with that. That's my only problem. Denali scoffed. That's hardly your only problem. Can you at least try? I don't want to get sucked into this, Denali said. If you get caught, I'll be implicated too. I'll never tell anyone, Aiden said. I promise it'll just be me. Denali pointed to the back deck. No, it won't be. She's innocent, Aiden said. She had nothing to do with my decision to come here. You don't think she'll get wrapped up in all this, like I'm sure I will? Aiden leaned forward and rested his forearms on his knees. Denali, please trust me. It'll all work out. Nobody's going to get hurt. Okay, I'll try, but I'm not putting myself in jeopardy over this. I would never ask you to. You are, though. It may be a while before I can come back. I have my own work to do, too. Understood. Denali stood up. I need to get going. Tell Liddy I said goodbye. He glanced out the window at her again and smiled. She looks so different. She's beautiful, Aiden said, almost defensively. Oh, yeah, no, I didn't mean anything by it. She looks different. Okay, I'll tell her. Please let me know if you find out anything, as soon as you can. I will. They shook hands. You know you're really risking a lot, Denali said. What's life if you don't do crazy stuff every once in a while? Crazy. It's definitely that. Goodbye, Aiden. Goodbye. Denali faded away. Aiden turned to look back at Liddy through the window. I'm not going anywhere, he thought. Unseen by all of them, standing by the front door, Phaedra listened to the entire conversation. She approached Aiden slowly. Aiden, she said, though he couldn't hear her. My dear sweet Aiden. She caressed his cheek. What a horrible mistake you've made. Chapter 69. I was about to lose my patience out there. The sun was setting, and it's crazy how fast the temperature drops after the sun goes down at that time of year. I finished my cigarette and was just left standing there with nothing to do. Aiden finally came and got me. I went back inside and washed my hands at the kitchen sink. I wiped some dust off the railing, I said, drying my hands on a tea towel. It left a gross film on my fingers. So is everything okay? I looked around. Where'd Denali go? He had to leave, Aiden said. He told me to tell you goodbye. Is he coming back? I hope so, if he finds out anything. So, Aiden, I know, he said, you want some time to yourself. I understand. But how much time? Please don't pressure me. I don't know. Maybe just let me relax here tonight and we can talk tomorrow. After lunch or something. Let me sleep in and enjoy some boring peace and quiet for a few hours, and then we'll see how long of a break I need after that. Think you can live without me for a little bit? He took the tea towel from me and draped it over the oven door handle. It'll be tough, he said, but I'll do my best to hold on. Good. So I'm going to go upstairs, take a shower, and watch a movie. I think. More than likely I'll pick out a movie, get comfortable on the couch, and then sleep through at least half of it. He smiled. Whatever you end up doing, I hope it's relaxing. Thank you. He just stood there looking at me. What is it? I asked. I was just thinking, you don't look so different to me. Huh? Nothing. Sorry, I'll leave you to it. Just call me tomorrow when you're ready. How am I supposed to do that? Call my name, he said. I'll be here in 1 second. He gave my cheek a little pat and then turned and walked out the door. I went upstairs and took a shower so long that I was surprised the hot water didn't run out. It left me red as a lobster, but it was wonderful. I made it through maybe 20 minutes of E.T. before I conked out on the couch. Chapter 70. Phaedra sat patiently in a nearby chair waiting for Liddy to drift off. Finally, her eyelids closed. Phaedra turned off the TV and knelt down in front of the couch where Liddy was sleeping. She stared at her, watching her chest rise and fall with her breaths. You don't enjoy Aiden's company, she whispered into Liddy's ear. Liddy was lying on her back with her head on a small pillow. She turned slowly toward Phaedra and opened her eyes a little. The hell I don't, she whispered back with a smile. Phaedra, suddenly enraged, grabbed Liddy's wrist. It was limp. Liddy was still sound asleep. Her eyes remained open, and she appeared to be very calm. I'll send him away from here, Phaedra said. He's not supposed to be here. Liddy laughed softly. I know what you are. She pulled her wrist from Phaedra's grip and stretched, reaching her arms over her head. Relaxing further into the couch, she kept her eyes on Phaedra. You're the one who needs to leave. Phaedra reached up and held her open hand, palm side down, just above Liddy's mouth. You won't have any memory of this. I could just suffocate you right now. Liddy smiled, her eyes open a little wider and gleaming. You can't. Go find some souls to save and quit bothering me. I'm resting. She rolled over to face the couch and sighed. Phaedra stood up and looked down at her. That sounds like a good idea, she said. I'll see you soon. Chapter 71. I didn't call Aiden until dinner time the next day. Originally, I think the plan was to do it around lunchtime, but I was enjoying a My Name is Earl marathon and lost track of time. Then I remembered this weird dream I had and called to tell him about it. He was right. All I had to do was say his name out loud and boom, he was there in 1 second. What would you do if I called you while you were in the middle of something else, like talking to somebody? Then I'd be here in 2 seconds. Ha! How's your day going? Pretty good. Hey, I had this weird dream last night. Was it good or bad? Neither. It was just really strange. I dreamed that some lady, she looked like my kindergarten teacher. She told me that I don't like being around you. I told her I did, and then she transformed into this big, ugly, angry windmill. Aiden laughed in surprise. A windmill? I told you it was strange. Funny thing is, I wasn't afraid of her at all. I just told her she couldn't hurt me and she needed to go find something better to do. What did the windmill person do? She said it sounded like a good idea, and then she grew legs and walked away. Oh my, that dream will be great for an interpretation, I'll say. So what have you been up to today? Amber wanted to spend some time working at the homeless shelter, and Jerry went along with her. She had the day off work, so they spent the morning there. So you just hung out with them? I asked. That's what I normally do, unless I need to work on something somewhere else. That sounds kind of boring. It can be. I stretched, then reached over for the remote to turn the TV off. Don't you ever get any time off? I asked. Like between assignments or something? He looked around like he expected to see somebody there, and then he looked back at me. We take our breaks when we can. When's the last time you had a vacation? Seems like you came straight here from your last person. Did you take a break after Pastor Faust? I can't go into too much detail, but I assure you that I do take breaks from time to time. That's good. Even angels can burn out or lose their perspective, he said. We have ways of dealing with both issues. What do you mean they lose their perspective? Angels interacting with humans over a long period of time can lead to interesting situations. We have to keep an eye on each other to prevent big problems down the line. What kind, Liddy? I really can't say any more about it. Oh, sorry. We stood there in silence for a moment. Aiden looked at me. There's so much I wish I could tell you. No, I understand. It's okay. I would if I could. I know that. Do you think you'd be up to spending some time together? He asked me. Nothing out of the ordinary. Maybe we could just go out to dinner. I sighed and I stood there thinking about it. Just dinner, no side quests or goofy shit. None whatsoever. He let me choose the restaurant. I picked this little Italian place nearby. I'd driven past there 1,000,000 times and I thought that I really needed to try it out. So I finally did. Sort of. They seated us in the very back, which was weird because the place was nearly empty. Maybe they thought we were a couple and wanted some privacy. I don't know. The server left us some napkins. I watched her walk away. What's that smile on your face about? Aiden asked. It just hits me sometimes. People all over the place are interacting with angels and they have no idea. That server just talked to you like it's nothing. How do you suppose she'd react if she knew what you really are? I imagine she'd react about like you did when you found out. Oh boy, I said. I remember how freaked out I was. It was crazy. You were struggling with your opinion of me. Have you given it any more thought? I leaned back in my chair and studied his face. It still amazed me that he hadn't changed a bit since the first time we met. Then I had to remind myself that angels don't grow old. They just are what they are. And that summed up my feelings on the subject, so I just said it. You are what you are. He gave me a quizzical look. I don't understand. I mean, you're neither good nor bad. You're just Aiden, and that's it. Judge not lest ye yourself be judged, right? He looked a little disappointed. What's the matter? I said. That's not the answer you were looking for? I don't know how else to say it. That's how I feel. I was hoping you'd see me in a more positive light. The server was approaching with 2 glasses of water and must have overheard him. Is she giving you a hard time? She said, giving me a wink. Honey, he's too cute to criticize. Look at that face and cut him some slack. Whatever it is he did, I'm sure he's sorry. She set the water glasses on the table and left us some menus. "But you're not," I said to him. "You said so yourself." "I said I didn't regret my choice. I wouldn't go back and do anything differently. Same thing. That doesn't mean I'm not sorry." "How does it not?" I asked him. "If you were sorry, you'd want to go back and change it." "The circumstances forced me to make a decision. I don't regret my decision. I'm just sorry that I had to make it and sorry that things turned out the way they did for myself and for others." "Are you just sorry that your side didn't win?" "No. Liddy, let's just stop there. I shouldn't have brought it up. Let's look over the menu." I flipped my laminated menu over to look at the back, then back to the front. "Is this it?" I don't know why, but I expected them to, offer more stuff. I have a wider selection. It looks pretty good to me. I ordered a meat calzone, and Aiden ordered a personal pepperoni pan pizza. "Seeing you eat or drink anything is always a trip," I said after the server left. "Can you actually taste it?" "Imagine how things taste and smell when you have a bad cold." "That's always weird," I said. "It's like my brain wants to taste and smell, but it can't. So it somehow tries to reproduce that sensation for me. It feels fake, but then there's this phantom taste and smell." "I like your description. That's exactly what I experience." "Do you just do it to make people feel comfortable?" "We engage in all sorts of unnecessary behaviors to make people feel comfortable." He paused and then said, "Hopefully you can forget what I really am, at least for a little while." "I don't want to forget." We sat in silence for a moment. I stared out the window. "I want to believe that you're good, deep down," I said without looking at him. "But you don't." "I don't know. Nobody's 100% good or 100% bad. We don't expect humans to be totally good or totally bad. But angels, y'all are closer to God, like relatives or something. Aren't you?" "No more than you are," he said. "Oh, huh. Maybe I'm trying to hold you to a higher standard than I really should." The server brought out our food. I started to comment on how good it smelled, but then I felt like it'd be mean or rude to say it to somebody who can't enjoy it. Aiden pulled a pepperoni off his little pizza and ate it. "Where does it go?" I wondered, but I didn't say it out loud. "Maybe there's more to the story that you don't know," he said. "You're basing your assumptions of God and Satan on something you learned from other people. Good and bad were defined for you, quite possibly based on inaccurate information." "So you're saying that maybe Satan was the good guy in that scenario? He declared war on God for a good reason?" "I'm saying that you don't have all the facts. You don't know the whole story." I slid the dishes out of the way and reached across the table for his hands. He held on tight and looked me in the eye. "Tell me the truth," I said. "Am I going to hell, or am I going to suffer any other negative repercussions when I die from hanging out with you?" "No." "Are you going to hurt me?" He looked like he was offended by the question. "Of course not." "Is there anything scary or weird or dangerous that I need to know about or prepare for?" "No more than usual." I sighed and pulled my hands back. "We're okay then, I think." I didn't even hear the server approach, but all of a sudden there she was. "He's lying to you, Liddy." I felt liquid on the underside of my forearms. The table went all wobbly and our plates and everything fell to the floor. Aiden just sat there. "The table," I said, scooting my chair back. "It's melting." "Lying to you," Aiden said softly. He didn't move and looked like he was in a trance. I looked at the server for some sort of answer to our table turning into liquid, but she was gone. The whole thing was more than I could take. I grabbed Aiden and pulled him up. He stood without any resistance, but seemed unable to move. "Aiden, come on." I just wanted to get out of there. He stared at me like I was a stranger. "Lying to you," he said. I let go of him. Without saying another word, I turned and ran out of the restaurant. And we're going to stop there. It's getting late and I got to go to bed. Next time when we come back, we're going to start on chapter 72 of this story. Thank you so much for being here and for listening to this. And thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this little segment. And hopefully, this coming week, we will get to read some more. Thank you again. I will see you really soon.